Wicked, wicked. Jungle is massive. Wicked, wicked. Wicked, wicked. Jungle is massive. Wicked. Yo, 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 yo. Tell them how we got this skill.
Welcome to a Friday night version of our Talk Hammer show. The reason we're doing this, people, is because Sunday night will be happening, but the long-awaited history tour video, or part one of it is going to happen on Sunday night. So we're going to do that on Sunday night. All right. So there won't be a phone in. So that's why we're doing it tonight. And I've had a few texts from people that want to get some bits and pieces off their chest. So so that's why we're doing it tonight.
We've had to give up our Friday night so these Muppets can call us. What a load! Let me phone you. Let me phone you.
Don't forget to give John some abuse because he's giving you some abuse. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
I've just joined. There's always abuse. People are obsessed with my nuts.
So Nick, how long ago did we film that tour?
It's got to be a year ago, isn't it? Now it feels like it.
Yeah,
because it's so old. It's so old. They've made a documentary about our documentary.
Yeah, you know the camera adds a couple of pounds, doesn't it? I'm like 2 stone heavier. I'm 2 stone heavier. I've got tits and everything. It's fucking embarrassing.
I'm all right. I'm behind the camera.
You are. You don't appear on film at all. Do you appear once?
I'm the photographer. I'm the man. I'm the daddy.
You appear once. So that's what you were planning all along. You're such.
When he's on screen, when he's on screen, he only wears black. I've noticed as well.
So am I wearing black tonight?
Well, pretty much black, yeah.
It's not black.
Pretty much black. Me and Gary are all summery. Look, we're wearing our pastels. Here we go.
Bring the colours out, John.
That's it.
But look, as you know, every day at the moment, it's a proper soap opera. West Ham at the minute. There's no ups. It's all downs. It's down after down after down to the point where it starts getting fucking funny. I mean, some of the news that's broken today. It's just is ridiculous. Well, not new. Well, it is news because it's been, the Daily Mail reported that Stight and Sullivan and Moyes have had a punch up when they was discussing transfers, disagreements over transfers. Now, look, I'm sure there's been plenty of arguments. I don't know whether I can. I mean, I don't know what part Sullivan would play in that punch up. Do you, Gary? I'm not so sure.
I think he'd have hidden depth, Sullivan. I reckon he's got a bit of a talent. I reckon he's a hard little fucker.
He's bollock height, and he could. I reckon he could definitely. Yeah. W over, no problem.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. John, what do you reckon? Stight and Moyes. I'm assuming it's those two. What do you reckon? If it's a fair sort of one-on-one punch up, who's your money on?
I'm on Tim. I think because age is on his side. I mean, I know Moyes is a hard Scottish bastard from the Godwoods, but
you sounded Indian there more than Scottish.
Why are you starting? I think Tim's got 20 years on him, isn't he? What's his geezer calling me Trigger for?
Gary Trigger.
I'm going home, mate. I'm going home.
But yeah,
my money's on Tim, mate.
My money's on Tim as well. So I hope Moyes got slapped all over the fucking office, to be quite honest. The other news that's come out today to sort of illustrate how desperate things are now. This is news because it's from The Athletic, and that's the reason for the loot thumbnail that I've done, and that is because we've got so desperate for players. We basically went onto Transfer Room, which is you registering your interest for players in the transfer market. So you're going into the transfer market. So we've gone in and someone has registered. We need 7 players, 7 positions. We're willing to pay 20 million, but we're looking for loans as well. So we've also registered ourselves in that. I mean, fuck me, we've got a director of football and we're doing things like that. So that is news. That has actually happened. Now look, if anyone who follows me on Twitter will have seen my mini breakdown earlier on, because I tried to ignore the McTominay and the Maguire rumour earlier on. I laughed it off. I thought, fucking no way, it's not going to happen. But it wouldn't go away, Gary, would it?
Nick, you've had several meltdowns today. It ain't just been one.
No, I know, but Gary, that rumour wouldn't go away, would it? The Maguire and the McTominay one.
It got bigger and bigger all day to the point where we started believing it, right? It was appearing everywhere.
I started believing it, and I thought so. So I've made some phone calls, and I've had let's say we've had our mind put at rest now. Basically, we did request medical records for McTominay and Maguire. We did. There isn't some remote team's fucking medical going on, which is being proposed, just so the players are here in time for Leverkusen. That isn't happening, and basically, that is something that happens at standard practice. If you inquire for a player, you want to see their medical records. We've done that. We have inquired for the players. We know this, but I've been told it's very, very unlikely that is going to happen. It's not going to happen. Moyes is dead set more on Maguire than McTominay. He really wants Maguire, even though Maguire doesn't want to come to us. He's come out and he said he wants to go to somewhere bigger than West Ham. He's also apparently come out, I've just read, and said that he's insulted by West Ham's offer that we must have made to him before.
Wages. It's the wages, isn't it?
Yeah, he's insulted by it, you know.
But you got to understand he's on 230 grand a week.
Yeah. I do understand it.
He ain't going to pay that money wage-wise.
He ain't worth it though. He ain't worth 230.
He ain't going to get that unless he goes to Saudi. Unless he goes to Saudi, he ain't going to get that anywhere else. Well, so look, the good news is we ain't that ain't happening, right? So we can relax on that. That's good. The good news, the really, really good news, as we know, as Gary reported, you know, when he done his show earlier on today, he said that Stuyton and Moyes went to the game and they went in separate cars. They came back in separate cars. Tim was very, very, very angry when he left. Very angry, which could have led to the punch.
That's underselling it, by the way. That's underselling.
Yeah, I know that's underselling it. And basically, we thought that was it, job done, because Moyes has poo-pooed the deal. He has poo-pooed the deal. He doesn't want the player. However, Stuyton has taken Sullivan has taken Stuyton's lead, and what he's done is he's got involved himself. This is the first time that Sullivan has decided to take the ball by the horns and get involved himself in a deal. Yeah. Apparently, when Sullivan does this, he's gone out and got his super agent that costs a fucking fortune. He only does this when he's desperate and he really wants a player. Right. He's gone and done that. I think you can put two and two together, pick it up. Yeah. We know it is. He's gone and got him involved. He's going to go and get this deal done with Fofana. It won't be easy because we're up against Leverkusen and a couple of other teams, but apparently they want Fofana. We've put a bid in, and we're going to try and see this through.
But I read earlier that Brighton have put in a 35 million offer for him over the odds already, haven't they?
Yeah. But we've got the money, John, so he's worth that. He's worth that.
Of course, I'm not saying he's not, but I'm saying Brighton have took the lead, haven't they? That's what I'm saying to you.
Yeah, they have. But and what's the other thing? So the other thing is, in terms of the news that we've had today, you know, Moyes is going to be sacked, or is Moyes going to walk? Now, the official line, of course, it's going to be, is that's nonsense. That's not happening. Sullivan isn't going to come out and say, yeah, that's all true. He's not going to. But I've had other stories from other people that kind of corroborates some of the more extreme things that we've just discussed. Not punch-ups, but there's been massive, massive arguments. And the fact of the matter is, yes, we do believe that there has been threats made, i.e., get my fucking players or else, or I'm walking this, that, the other. And from what I've been told by Sean, is that Sullivan will not buckle. He won't be threatened. If Moyes does take that route, Sullivan will call it and he'll let him walk. He'll let him walk. So they are drawing up. I don't think they're drawing up a list of possible replacements. Stuyton's already got that list. Right.
Well, Xabi Alonso signed a new deal today with Leverkusen, though, didn't he? So that one's gone out the window, really.
Not necessarily, John. Not necessarily, because if you remember what the tactic that Brentford take, they gave that new bloke they gave their manager an extra long contract. He was already under contract. I think he was in his final year. They gave him another contract. And the way they play it, and I suspect Leverkusen are the same because they use the same system, what they're doing is guaranteeing that they get a fee for the manager.
Yeah, they can always go and basically buy the manager. I get that, but yeah, maybe
we can. That's something as John says. That's something that Sullivan's never done. Though he's never bought a manager out of his contract. You don't forget. You have still got the likes of Potter, who failed at Chelsea, but if you're bringing him into an environment where he's got a director of football behind him, that could work.
Absolutely,
that could work. There's other options out there. There's plenty of them. So. Can I
just say, I'm fucking delighted with this news. I'm absolutely delighted.
I really am.
If we can push this through, it would make my summer. It'd make all the frustration worthwhile and all the bullshit and all the circus to get a great player in.
The only thing The only thing with it though, will Moyes play him?
No,
Because if he's not made to play him,
he'll play him
Well-
if he's getting embarrassed on the pitch. And I think from what we've seen
Well-
against Rennes, with the midfield that we've got, John, he won't have much choice, to be honest. If you've got him in
So
that
there,
fucking team.
I agree with you. So the single bloody mindedness of Moyes to say he's not good enough is purely saying he's not good enough. The reason I'm saying he's not good enough because you recommended him.
Yep.
Yeah.
Is that not grounds for Sullivan to say misconduct? Fuck off.
Yeah, but he's been doing that anyway. He's been obstinate the whole way through. So part of
Maybe
what Gary
so,
said
but-
earlier on is entirely true. Moyes has basically come out and said it's not in my contract to work with a director of football. I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
So he's been such a fucking baby on this.
I pieced together the narrative last night, John, like a detective in the WhatsApp, and kind of almost got it right.
Hang on, Gary. Did you see this the other night? I was on with Dan, and somebody put, I think it was GP, because we've missed a few of his super. He always puts them in late. He puts £2 in right at the end, and then we close the show and we're like, "Fuck, I've missed that one." No, say thank you. So on this one, he's put in £2. West Ham fan TV in the best. Claret and boobs is shit. That's what he called us. Claret and boobs.
He always, whoever he donates to, he says they're the best. He's a hypocrite, the geezer.
No, he called West Ham fan TV the best on our show.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And he said Claret and boobs is shit.
You're going to see Claret and boobs on Sunday. I tell you on the history show.
You are going to see
lovely
Claret and
pair of
boobs.
tits. I've got a lovely pair of tits in that video.
Yeah, but no, that's going to be a good. I'm looking forward to it. No one's interested in your tits, Gary. They're interested in the history tour. All
They're
right?
going to be obsessed with my tits when they see them on Sunday.
I think Gary misses his tits.
He does. He does. But yeah. So look, that is kind of the that's the news. That's the update from where we are. There are some other bits and pieces, but there's nothing really worth sharing. You know, there's what else is there? No, there's not. I think that's it. I think I've exhausted my knowledge for the day. I always share everything I've got with you. We don't do that. We don't hold anything back. So I think that's good news. I think from where we've been today, that once I'd spoken to who I spoke to, and you obviously probably all know who that is, I did feel much better afterwards, and that doesn't happen very often. So it did kind of bring the blood pressure down a little bit, and and that for me, as John said, I think if Sullivan's involved, I can see us getting that deal done. I think because what he'll want to do, he'll want to make a point. He'll say, "I'll show you how to get a fucking deal done." Basically, he will. He'll go and get it.
It's interesting though, isn't it? Because he's going to go and do the deal with the super agent, and they're going to do it without Moyes, and then Moyes is going to meet him at the training ground. First time he's going to speak to him. That'd be an interesting little dynamic, wouldn't it? But I'm so glad they're removing the Moyes obstacle out of the way, because it's getting me down. I mean, I must admit today, all that stuff that went through today, weren't only you that was having a meltdown. I was having a meltdown as well. It just felt hopeless, especially when, you know, all that stuff I said about, you know, Moyes sticking to his contract and saying to Sullivan, "I ain't working for Stighton," you know, and kind of forcing, and then. So first of all, he didn't do what the chairman said. Secondly, he tried to undermine the chairman by trying to basically destroy his rival. That's what he tried to do, discredit his rival. Yeah. And that was, and then I started to read, Maguire and McTominay's coming for 90 million. Someone said 90 million. I was thinking, fucking hell, all the Rice money's going. Yeah. Right. And then I thought, no, it can't be 90. It must be like 60, 50, something like that. So I started to sort of get my head around it, because players are players. And if we ended up signing them, I'd support them, right? They pulled a shirt on, I'd support them. I wouldn't be happy with the signings, but I would support them. You've got to.
Yeah, absolutely. So going back to what Mason said here. So Mason says some people only know what Sullivan wants them to know. Look, we know 100%. And I said this to the bloke that I was talking to earlier on. Like I said, there's certain aspects of what they say to you. Yeah, Sullivan he's only going to refute that claim that we're going to sack Moyes, or Moyes is going to walk, or there was a fight. He isn't going to say that. He's going to say the opposite. So, but there are elements of what they say, and we do try and cross-check it as well when we do get information. I always anticipate that whenever you get information from those sources, that you're only getting stuff that they want you to hear, I think. Yeah, because otherwise they wouldn't tell those sources that. But that doesn't mean there isn't any truth in it. And this is the first time that Sullivan has relayed that message, is that I'm going to try and get this fucking deal done. So, so hopefully, and look, I think we'd all like that. That would give me a lift after from what I saw of Fofana. John, wouldn't you? I'd love to get him in, wouldn't you? It'd be amazing.
Of course, because he's young, French international. He looks good. Of course, he does. So it definitely gives a lift, and it's 100% an improvement on what we've got available.
Yeah.
So why would you not? Which I mean, Gary, you just said there that like obviously Moyes is sort of trying to get one up on his rival, but I think personally, I think he's actually look. We know Moyes doesn't want a director of football. Moyes has never wanted a director of football. I think he's actually doing it to spite. He don't know Steiden. He's doing it to spite Sullivan and go, how dare you get someone in who I don't want to work with? Whoever it may have been, it would have rubbed Moyes up the wrong way because he likes to be in total control. You know, if you listen to that interview by that
Mullenstein.
Rulenstein, the ex-Man United Dutch coach, when he said that Moyes came in, you know, one of the first things he did was get rid of all the backroom staff.
Yeah, people like Phelan, right? People like Phelan have been around for years.
He got rid of Phelan, he got rid of everyone. Now, I understand, because Nigel said it, didn't he? I get it. When a manager goes to a new club, they generally bring their own team with them. But when you're taking over a dynasty, which is what Ferguson left, and not only a dynasty, but a dynasty that was falling apart. And I mean that because they won that league with a crap team, an absolutely depleted team that shouldn't have won it. But Ferguson's magic got the best out of them players. So at the very least, Moyes should have gone, this club's lost a big man like Alex Ferguson. Let's keep a little bit of stability.
That's exactly
around.
right. Yeah,
you know,
and
a little bit of
the thing
stability.
is,
Let's not go all gun ho and get rid of absolutely everyone.
No, and the thing is, as Gary said earlier on, Ferguson has said many times himself. He said the secret to his success was surrounding himself with brilliant people, and that's what he built. He built a machine. He built a fucking machine that, you know, he was headed by him, but ultimately that success that he got with that weak team, they knew that they needed investment, and he had money to spend. He had a bottomless pit of money to spend when he came in. But you know what could he muster? It was fucking Fellaini, you know, chased. And
honestly, I think the secret of any great leader is doing exactly that, right? That is surrounding himself with people, with good people, and then using those people, trusting them, listening to them, and all that sort of stuff. And Moyes just don't do that. Moyes, well, he thought having all that talent and all that experience around at Man U, probably the biggest club in the world, was no good to him. It was going to probably felt threatened by it, probably felt undermined by it. So rather than try to fit in with that system that existed and brought home 49 trophies, he went in and just tore it up, got rid of everybody.
He did.
Well, I mean, if you think about Moyes 18 months ago, 2 years ago, he did have a good lot of people around him. Because that's why we had that success, because there was shared there was shared ownership. There was a team there. But as they start falling away, and not that he's left on his own, but as they start falling away, you can see the lack of respect that the players have for him any longer, because they have less and less people to bend an ear to. All right, I know he's still got Nolan and McKinley, but there was a lot of big characters, a lot of experienced heads in and around, you know, Pierce, Irving. I don't want to go on. I know Irving's involved in some capacity, but he's not there on a day-to-day training ground basis. But, you know, it's no surprise, is it? Because obviously Moyes, you know, I don't think Moyes is a people person, basically. I just don't think he's not.
Going to talkHAMMERS comment here. Did you guys hear about Steiten saying to Anton from West Ham Network that we will sign players, specifically 2 players, by the weekend?
Yeah, we heard that.
Yes, I fucking did. And that is what spurred me on to have a meltdown earlier on when we were linked with McTominay and Maguire.
You put 2 and 2 together.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I ignored it this morning. I mocked it.
I did as well.
I had a little bit of a banter with James from E20, and I was kind of taking the piss out of him. But then as it started going throughout the day, I thought, is this happening? Is this fucking? Because there was all sorts of news outlets that was reporting it. I thought, no.
I think it will be
90 million.
Do you know? I think it will be for Farmer and McTominay. You know,
I wouldn't mind that, John.
That'd be fine.
I wouldn't mind that. You know, as long as we get, not for 45 million. No, you can't go spending 30 million on Fofana and spending 45 million on McTominay.
Well, you won't be spending. No. But Brighton have bid 35, so we're going to go at least go higher than that now for Fofana, aren't we?
Yeah, maybe not. Yeah. It'll be down to who the player wants to join. If 35 million is accepted,
to some extent,
you'll just match it, and we'll be able to beat Brighton on wages. I would have thought.
If we signed Maguire, it would mean that we'd have to go 3 at the back, 5 at the back. It means Benrahma would be sacrificed, or a left winger would be sacrificed, and we'd end up playing with, 3 in midfield, which would probably be Souček, McTominay, and Paqueta. That don't work for me, right?
Yeah,
and and the slowest back line you've ever seen, apart from Aguerd, the slowest back three you've ever seen, and up front it would be Bowen and someone, probably Ings or Mabama. Swap them out. I don't like that. I don't think it would work for us.
No. Right, I'm going to make a phone call. Let's get into the phone calls today, because we don't want to run this one for too long, because there's other shows on afterwards, so we don't want to.
Yeah, don't want to rub people up the wrong way.
No. Right. V straight in. It works. See.
Who are you ringing?
Hello.
Is that Mickey Smith?
Yeah, go on, mate.
How's it going? You all right?
Yeah, mate, sorry, I've got my earphones on.
You got your headphones on. What you got big bad boy headphones, or you got little earbuds?
Nah, only the little ones. I don't know if you can hear me all right. Is it all right?
Yeah, it's all good, mate. It's all good. So have you been watching the show? Did you hear me little update? Me positive update for a start.
Oh, I can't believe it. There's a bit of positivity on the go. Do you know what I mean?
I know.
I know. Like I said to you earlier on, I didn't have a question.
Yes.
Because it's all smooth sailing at West Ham at the moment. Do you know what I mean? It's all going hunky dory. There's not much happening. But I actually had a little spat with a West Ham channel on Instagram today, like just a back and forth, and it got me thinking. There is a question I want to ask you, lads.
Go on.
And I don't really know how to word this, so I'm going to keep it simple. But as a West Ham fan, are you more substance over style? What I mean by that, give you an example. Would you rather a season like we just had, where it was painful to watch, but we actually won a cup? Or, for example, a season like Brighton. Ideally, we'd want both, but you can't choose that in this scenario, unfortunately.
No.
Because for me, personally, I'm all about the entertainment. I want to be entertained.
I'm style over substance all day long. I mean, I'm a West Ham fan. It's what we've been brought up on. And for me, if you know what I'm saying is, I'm not saying, John, if you can guarantee winning a cup every year, you'll take it, but you ain't going to. So that's the thing. You're not going to. So I think you have to go. I don't think that style over substance. You can't. That's almost like saying that you can't win something with style. I know what you mean. Yeah. People's justification is now we've won a cup, especially.
Mick is giving you the ultimatum.
No. For me, I will go for style over substance, especially now we've won a cup as well. Now I've won a cup, I'm all right. I want to get entertained now. I mean, like the last 18 months have been painful as fuck. They have been. I want to go to football. I want to enjoy the game and see my team go out there and fucking try and take someone on and beat them.
Yeah, if you could have everything.
Yeah. Sorry, Gail, go on, mate.
Yeah, if you could have everything, Mickey, so you'd have the football style of Brighton, and you'd win a cup, right? If you're going to have what we watched last year without a cup, it'd be completely unacceptable. In my mind, it was unacceptable anyway, right? I think there are other managers who play a negative form of football, like Mourinho, like Conte when he's in his first season and stuff like that. But that is very, very tough football, and no one takes the piss out of them, right? No one takes the piss out of them. And unfortunately, several times last year, we had the piss taken out of us. And when you look at the teams we beat, it was largely teams in the bottom five, mainly.
It was, yeah. There was no big scalps.
It was shit.
No.
And John, sorry, Mick. John, what's your take on that, John?
I wouldn't change last season for the world. Purely.
No. I wouldn't change it. I wouldn't change it either.
No, so that's what I'm saying. So because we won the cup, I've accepted the style for last season to some extent because we won a cup. But obviously going forward, and because of the lack of trophies we win, we're obviously style over substance. Most West Ham fans, West Ham fans must be style over substance, and I think that's because we're bred on that.
We are. That's what we're. Go on, Mickey.
This is why my question was, because it just seems that. I know you say like the Moyes out and the Moyes in, but everyone with the Moyes in is always going back to this is the manager that won us our first trophy in 41 years, and I'm just worried, like I'm more concerned about the results. This is their argument.
No,
but as you said earlier on, I'm a West Ham fan. If I wanted to support a club that wins everything or like wins loads every season, This ain't the club I'll be supporting. Let's have it right. Do you know what I mean?
No.
It's not the reason, is it? It's not the reason you started supporting.
It's more to it than that. You know, we've brought up on that excitement, that family togetherness. But even that at the moment, he's sort of falling apart. It's ripped in half, basically.
Yeah.
It is, mate. And that argument as well, when you have that, look, listen, everyone can back who they want. They can be happy with whatever they want. Well, I'm no authority on anything. I don't understand it, especially if you're a West Ham fan and you've always supported us because, like I say, as John said, we've been bred on this, you know. But when you get annoyed by people in the media, people who are not connected with West Ham, they look at the overall picture and they will go, oh, you know, because they haven't watched us week in, week out. They'll go, oh, well, you won a cup. You've had you know, free European adventures, or free qualifications for Europe, and that's what they'll do. They'll look at the high level, and that's what I feel like I'm talking to with people like that. I feel like they don't watch us. It's almost like, do you fucking watch the game? Do you watch us?
Yeah, like what is going on? Do you know what I mean? Like, because you're right, they don't watch us, and they just think, oh, West Ham fans should be happy with that. Do you know what I mean? Like,
but you know what? You know what, Mickey? The thing is, mate, is that you can accept it from pundits because they don't watch us week in, week out, right? So you can excuse you can excuse their ignorance.
No.
And I'm not. Hang on, no, you have to, because I don't watch you week in, week out. And I'm not judging Moyes in people, but if you've got West Ham fans that are saying the same things as pundits who don't watch us week in, week out, that baffles me far more than listening to a pundit who watches us once every 6 to 8 weeks. You know what I mean?
Can I just say, I don't agree with that, because pundits, by their very nature, should know the subject matter that they're talking about. They shouldn't just give ignorant, canned views of what they think about West Ham. You know, two examples. Stuart Pearce.
They are paid to give opinions, though, Gary.
But they're just canned opinions. Like Stuart Pearce today, just repeat the same old shit. Danny Murphy always repeats the same old shit, right?
That was annoying.
But West Ham's not in their blood. They're not brought up on West Ham. That's my point.
So don't give an opinion on it. I don't. You know,
they have to. They're paid to. They're paid to give opinions.
I do think John's right. I think it's more. It frustrates me from pundits. It does. And you almost feel like saying you're not qualified to be fucking commenting on this, because, as John said, you don't watch us week in, week out. But this is what I don't get from West Ham fans, and I can understand people that are on the fence, Moyes ambivalent. People like Nigel. Nigel don't really care. He's a West Ham fan. He's fine. You know, he'll accept relegation. He'll still support him. It doesn't really matter. It's ups and downs with him. Yeah. I get that, but I can't understand anyone being aggressively Moyes in and arguing for it. That I don't really get. And there's a lot of that. You know, there's a lot of it. And
a lot of it.
I know. And that's the thing. I can get it. I can get people not being bothered. Like, I don't really care who the manager is. I get that. You know.
Yeah. But we don't take that attitude, right? Sorry, Mickey. Go on.
Sorry, Mickey.
No, go on. I was saying, like for me, I am bothered with the manager because I don't want another. How can you say? It's like a Moyes type style of manager. I really don't. I want that exciting, progressive manager. Like that's what, again, it just goes back to how you brought up, I guess. And I was brought up on entertaining.
I think now with Stighton there, I think the next manager will have to be in the mould of what Tim wants to work with. I don't think a manager. I don't think our next manager will be anything like. I'll be shocked if the next manager is anything like Moyes. With all due respect to Moyes, it would have to be someone that is happy working with a director of football, and that Tim obviously, you know, okays, no. Because, you know, he'll want a close working relationship, won't he?
Yeah. He will.
That's what you've got to for, don't
you? Yeah, exactly.
He will, absolutely. And the thing is, Mick, right, this has been the most, I think this has been the most chaotic window that I've ever known. And look, most of our transfer windows are frustrating. They are, especially just lately, because even when we have good windows like we had last year, and it was a good window in the end, it was left right until the last minute. We was all fucking suffocating. We've had those January transfer windows where we needed to invest. But this one feels so different because I know we had the cup success, but we almost got fucking relegated. We was 2 or 3 games away. We weren't far off. We was fighting relegation for 36 games. That's what we was fighting relegation for. And we've lost our best player it just feels mad that we're in this position now, doesn't it? Yeah. It does, and it is crazy.
Well, what makes it worse is, right now, I'm going back here, right? So that the controversy that West Ham have had in the past, like I won't name names, but you'll know the story of two players, one of theirs wife and a knife. You know that story.
Yeah.
Then you've got the other one of Pardrew and being a ladies' man. So, but this time,
that's a nice way.
It's true, though. Yeah, I was trying to be nice. I was trying to be political. Yeah. But at the moment, I've never had so many messages from my non-West Ham mates, literally bantering me, and I've literally got no comeback whatsoever. Like we're officially a banter club right now, and it's painful. It's absolutely painful.
When Domino's Pizza are bantering you, you know you got fucking problems. that did make me laugh. It did make me laugh. It did make me laugh.
That was class, yeah.
Was it West Ham have been in? Did it buy anything?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some West Ham fans got really angry though. Some people were like replying, going, "That's because your prices are fucking extortionate."
You got the right money.
They took it really personally, whereas I found it funny.
You've got to laugh at it, because if not, you get the other. I'll get the other enough with West Ham at the moment. So with stuff like that, I find that funny. I thought that was class.
Yeah, it was class. But I think look, I think what's become clear, certainly for Sullivan now. I think he can see now. Well, he's seen for the last 4 weeks. He's been trying. I think, as Gary said, I do believe he's pulling his hair out. I'm not a Sullivan fan, but I think he's got himself. I think he's gone out and he's tried to do things the right way. I don't think he was overly happy with the investment. 200 million last year that almost got us relegated. If you look at it on the face of it, it ain't fucking great, is it? I know we won the cup, so he's thought, no, we're not going to do that. Let's go. Let's get a director of football, and he's stuck with Moyes, and then Moyes is walking around like he's 10 foot tall, beating his chest, and heaven forbid that guy's here in the season, because there won't be a single interview that he does where he don't mention, I won West Ham their first cup in 43 years. That is going to be mentioned every 2 fucking minutes.
Who won their first cup in football?
David Moyes. David Moyes.
You know what? I've never heard him mention that. I'm glad you told me, because I would never have known. I would never have known if you not said that.
Honestly, mate, it's going to be a nightmare. But I do think that one of them is going to go. That's clear. One of them has to go. And if you're David Sullivan, I think pretty much that was an exercise the other night, by the sounds of it, with Fofana, and that's convinced Sullivan to go with what Tim Stein said, because like I said, this is a guy that's 30 to 35 million for Fofana, same age as Rice. Okay, French international. Fucking machine. If he comes and kicks on and plays like that in the Premier League for West Ham, he'll be worth double that in 2 years. He'll be worth double that money.
Do you know what I was thinking this earlier? Go on, sorry, John.
I know, I understand what Nick's saying, but this whole resale value thing really perplexes me. I don't really care what we sell players for after. I want a player to come in at a good price, perform for us for 4, 5, 6 years, right? I don't care about resale value. I don't want to get linked.
But John, sorry to interrupt. You've said yourself on many occasions when we've been talking about Declan Rice, players do not stay at their clubs for their full careers anymore. So why would you not want to buy players like Arsenal have done with Declan Rice, which if they're bought him for 100 million, they keep him for 4 years. That's a fucking investment, because they can sell him for the same money later on. Now, the only way you can go, if you ain't cash rich and you ain't got loads of money, surely the only way you can build and what can make you stronger is if you take the Brighton model, where you buy players cheaper, and if they do go, you can sell them for more money. Yeah. Surely.
I get it. As I said to you then, I get why you're saying it, the whole Red Bull model thing, but that fucking gets on my nerves. But as a fan, do I really care what the club sell a player for after his contract's over? Not really. Not really. I get what you're saying, progression and all that, investment and moving on. But I don't give a fuck about all that. So I don't get caught up in that. That's all I'm going to say.
I don't quite want the Red Bull model. The Red Bull model is to move players on quite quickly, right? And that's like Brighton and Brentford. And I don't want to see us go that far, that strong, because we get attached to our players and we hold onto them for at least a few seasons. If Declan Rice played for Southampton or Brentford or Brighton, he'd have stayed with us for about a year, maybe 2.
Yeah. Any player that we get in, I think we'll agree. Any player that we get in that turns into a proper talent, we ain't keeping. Therefore, it's good.
Yeah.
It's good to get him in at the right age so that you can make money on them when they do fuck. Because they're going to fuck off anyway. Look at Arnautovic. We ended up losing him for not very much money. If Payet was younger, we would have got more money for him. Yeah. So I think if you go for the right age profile, then you know.
But look, people
go back to Gary's. Sorry.
Go on, Mickey. Go on, Mickey.
No, to go back to Gary's thing about if they want a Red Bull model, right? And then they buy players and then they sell them on quickly. Right. Yeah. Well, we've done that. We've just done it absolutely wonky, right? Because we'll get players like Allaire and Skamaka who stay here for a year and then we sell them at a cut price.
Yeah, it's the reverse Red Bull. That's what it is.
No. You know what it's called, didn't you? It's called the Iron Brew model.
The Iron Brew model.
That's it. Yeah, it's so backwards. It's unreal, isn't it?
Yeah,
it is. And can I get you really excited now? Can I get you really excited? I've been told that the other player. Now I don't know if this is 100% true because this player is now linked to Chelsea, but everyone's linked to Chelsea.
Exciting.
Right?
Go on.
Listen, that's Alvarez as well. Now imagine a central midfield of Fofana, Alvarez and Paqueta. Now, Alvarez is a fucking animal. Imagine us going up against Arsenal. I'm not being funny. That midfield, Paqueta, Fofana and Alvarez would beast Rice, Odegaard and fucking whoever else they've got in there. Because I'm not being funny. He has look, Rice will come good. But Rice looks like a little bit of a fish out of water. And I can't wait for that game. If we do that, because that's the game that I want to win. When we play Arsenal, I want us to bash fuck out of them. That's what I want. I want us to smash through them.
I'll tell you, when you said that, I got a little fluttering in the trouser department.
Yeah. Imagine that.
I'm not imagining that.
Because you got Alvarez, who would be your perfect number 6.
Yeah.
He's your number 6. He's the one that blocks and sweeps up and basically kicks shit out of people. The guy gets yellow cards for fun.
Yeah, he's a beast.
No, but he's clever. He's clever with it because he does it in the right areas. Sometimes, he marks people's cards. He waits until they're in a safe area before he fucking boots them up in the air.
Yeah.
We need to get that as well.
Yeah. So something Andy Walsh just said, Gary just shat himself. But imagine that. So look, listen, you get Alvarez, you get that. And the thing is, if David Moyes does stay, that means that he's going to have to buy into that. That means that David Moyes has buckled. And he's going to have to start listening to what people are telling him. He could make it. This is a frustrating thing, right? I don't think he's tactically good enough. I don't. I genuinely don't. But he's a fool because he could at least just give this a go, couldn't he? If he wanted to keep his job, he could just swallow his fucking pride and stop being such an arrogant prick, and he could try and make this work. But I don't think he's going to.
Like everyone keeps saying about, he's going for James Ward-Prowse and McTominay to try and keep his job, like. But if you had these players, these are class players, and that could benefit him even more than having these.
Yeah, but he don't see it like that, does he? He don't see it like that.
No.
He's never really taken risks, has he? So even when he went, when he went Man U and took Fellaini with him, I mean, fucking hell, that's what
I was about to say.
Yeah, he took for him. It's better the devil you know.
Do you reckon he'll take Souček with him when he moves somewhere else? That'd be a fucking bonus.
That's the measure of the man, though. That is the measure of the man. You move to Man U, the biggest club in the world with one of the biggest budgets in the world, and you sign Fellaini. Fuck.
I know. Right. Go on, John. One more thing, John.
Just quickly, on Fofana. Fofana's not a CDM, is he? He's more of a box-to-box, isn't he?
No, Fofana's box-to-box. That's what I'm saying to you. So Fofana and Alvarez.
Alvarez,
Fofana, Alvarez and Paqueta, that is mustard. Now, look, when you look at the other side of it, which is what I've been having a meltdown about, which is the thought of James Ward-Prowse and Souček. I'm sorry. No, there is no comparison. I've got no problem with James Ward-Prowse. I think James Ward-Prowse is a quality player.
Hold on, someone in the chat. I don't know what they've just said, but that.
There you go. It's an Alvarez. Told you.
Ooh.
That's what I was told. I was told that earlier on.
Fabio.
Another one.
I was told that earlier on. So Alvarez and Fofana are the two players. That's what I've been told.
Your forecasts are coming true in real time. Go on, John.
Can I just say one thing quickly again? Sorry. The biggest thing about losing Rice was not replacing Rice, because every midfielder we've been linked with since Rice, the problem has been that they could not cover Souček, right? And so the biggest problem for West Ham has not actually been losing Rice; it's being left with Souček. That's been the big problem. So all the players we've been linked with, everyone's going, "Oh, he can't play with Souček, can't play with Souček." But if you take Souček out of the equation, almost everybody is an upgrade to Souček.
Yeah, no, he is. Ultra 505 has said Fofana could be going to Monaco. No, Monaco look to have agreed terms with Juventus for Zakaria.
That's right.
So they've almost, and he is their replacement for Fofana. They know he's moved. Well, he isn't their player anyway, is he? I don't think.
Who does Fofana play for? Who does Fofana play for?
I can't think. I don't. He's on loan.
He's Monaco.
Fofana plays for Monaco, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, it was Monaco.
Maybe it is Monaco. I don't know. I thought he was on loan or something. I don't know. But whatever. Monaco have agreed terms with Zakaria, who's the same type of player. You know, and obviously, look, this is another one. They can see him as a suitable replacement, but again, Moyes didn't fancy Zakaria. Zakaria would have been a good player for us as well. He would have been.
Yeah, he would have been. I was looking forward to that one, to be fair, as well.
Yeah, he would have been a good player. He's a similar type of player. You know, he's a machine in midfield, and that's what we need. When we played Rennes the other day, you could see, like I said, Rennes on there was at least 3 occasions where our midfield opened up like the Red Sea, and they had there was a player that just ran straight through the fucking. They just kept going, just ran straight through the middle.
Don't remind me of that game, Nick. We've got a whole season of that coming. Oh.
Maybe not, Mickey. Maybe not, because if we can sort that midfield out, we'll be all right. We'll sort that midfield out.
We're also linked with Divock Origi from AC Milan, the old Liverpool striker.
Listen, I will take him as a backup. I'll take him as a backup.
£7 million. I don't think you can really say no to that.
I'll take him as a backup.
I don't think so either. Yeah,
take
£1 million.
He's physical. He puts in a shift. He's a worker.
He can play anywhere across the front as well. He's all right. He's fine. You know, I'd rather him than Cornet. Put it that way.
Yeah.
I would. But yeah, Mickey, I'm gonna have to love you and leave you, mate. That was a brilliant call.
Cheers, Mickey.
We've broken all the fucking rules for you, Mickey. 21 minutes you've had. Gary's gonna be fuming.
It's a record. It's a record. I'm
ready. Right. Now go on, lads.
Go and finish off that chimney. Go and finish off sweeping that chimney, Mickey. Go on, son.
I'm gonna go and rewind it. So I like hearing my own voice. I want to go and listen to myself now.
Good man. All right, mate. I'll speak to you soon. Cheers, Mickey.
Bye, mate. Go on, mate. Bye-bye.
Could he get any more Cockney, do you reckon?
No. He's a top man, isn't he?
He's the most Cockney I've ever met in my life.
Brilliant. Right, this is Chris from Surrey.
Chris from Surrey.
Chris Shepherd, is it?
It could be Chris Shepherd.
It's the geezer I met at Dagenham.
Hello, is that Chris from Surrey?
It is indeed.
How are you? Are you speaking to Nick and you're on with Gary and John?
Evening, Chris.
Oh, hello. Evening.
What would you like to talk about this evening, mate?
Well, first of all, I would like to say I like Humpy Gary from this early on the show.
Yeah,
it was very good.
Good, thank you.
Yes, and also this gets me with West Ham. They've got no fan love at all. Why pronounce Mrs. Gold as vice chairman or co-chairman this early on in the season? I just can't see why they're trying to do this.
I think it probably had to be done.
David Gold's,
I think it probably had to be done.
To come out.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so sorry, mate. I'm going to have to interrupt. Romano's just tweeted about Alvarez. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Yes, thank you, please. Brilliant.
Hello, mate. How you doing?
That's brilliant. That's brilliant.
I'm going to find it. Go on, Chris. Sorry,
mate.
That's right. No, I'm just saying, if with the David Gold shares in the club, does she get his shares? And if so, would that mean they've got more chance of selling the club earlier?
I don't think they've been released from probate yet. I think she's just representing that side of things.
Oh, she's just a rep.
Yeah, she represents 12.5%. So Vanessa represents 12.5%. She is the co-chair. The other 12.5% for the Gold family is represented by Dan Cunningham. So obviously makes up 25%. Whether or not I did ask this question earlier on, and I said, is there any love lost between Vanessa and is there a relationship there? And the response was, well, David Gold and David Sullivan didn't have a relationship, to be honest. In the end, the only time you ever saw them together was at football. They never really had a relationship at all. At the end, I don't think they really got on with each other. What's happening there, John?
Oh,
John, we got two of you.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So I don't know. I think Look, hopefully, because we all know that the sale was going to happen. You know, once that embarrassment clause expired, that sale's going to be imminent. Sullivan's not here for the fucking long haul, regardless what other people want to say.
No.
He's not. He wants to sell. He wants to sail off into the sunset with bouncy boobs. That's what he wants to do.
Yeah.
You know.
I just hope he does it at the end of the season because it's so depressing. This transfer window is so depressing. It's the worst I've ever seen it so far.
Terrible.
It's
terrible.
Even with the fake bits, like when we had Baka and players like that were being linked with the club, and you knew they were just trying to get the supporters to buy the season tickets. It was just to get the ticket sales up.
The thing is, the thing is, if we do get Fofana and Alvarez, that would mean that Tim must have been working like a squirrel behind the scenes, mustn't he? Because I have started to think, what's he doing? Because I know it's easy to say that because there's no evidence of anything happening. But if these two things do come to fruition, then you've got to give him back a massive pound.
I spoke to Anton. I didn't speak to him. Messaged him earlier on. He was talking about the awards night that he went to. You know, the thing that they had last night. And he spoke to Tim, and he said to him, any players coming in? And he said, this weekend, 2 players. He said. Does that make? That's what he said.
Does that make Anton an ITK?
Yeah, it does. Yeah. No, he didn't. He wouldn't sell him out. He wouldn't sell him out.
I'm an ITK, you bastard.
He could have been scared of Anton though, because if you saw the photo,
he's enormous.
Anton's
Anton, I wasn't scared.
Anton's enormous. You shit yourself, John. You told me. Yeah.
When he sat down, I was all right.
He's a big geezer. He's about 6'5" tall and 6'5" wide, isn't he? He's massive.
All them fucking haggises, isn't it?
At least he didn't have his scarf on anyway.
No. Yeah, no, he didn't. I don't think much of his hair though. Have you seen his hair? I'm not sure about that with old Tim. I think he needs a haircut. Bit of a weird
70s, very 80s, isn't it?
Proper German haircut. That is a proper German haircut, isn't it?
Yeah. He needs we need to sort that out really.
Who made you two, Tony?
And then also. And then also, I think Potter is a very good call early on today because he can bring in all his own coaching staff since we haven't employed no coaching staff.
Yeah,
and also I think he could work with the players we've got now, and we've got the youth as well. What he likes bringing in, so he likes a smaller squad.
Yeah,
because at Chelsea he just had too many players to pick from. That's why it's such a failure at Chelsea.
You know, at Chelsea, right, he had so many players that there wasn't enough seats in the dressing room and some of them had to sit on the floor. Fact.
And in training, some of them had to stand in the corridors.
Yeah,
he couldn't make that work. I think Potter's an excellent coach. Yeah, that's what Joey is. He's a coach. Yeah. He's someone that will come in and he'll coach the team. We'll
he would go ideal. He would be ideal for us at the moment.
He really would.
Squad, and small. He'll change different tactics every game as well.
Yeah,
Mills never does.
No, absolutely. And look. We've all been falling in love with the idea of Alonso coming in. But don't forget, Tim plucked him from Real Sociedad B. He plucked him from nowhere. Yeah. Okay, he will know exactly that he's not reliant on Alonso. Obviously, he knows talent when he sees it. So he'll be able to see the next. And there's a load of fucking good managers out there.
I've got a question. I've got a question for all of you, right? Including you, Chris. Including you. This is tomorrow. We're playing by Leverkusen with Alonso as manager against Dinosaur David Moyes. Yeah. Would you like to see West Ham win or lose?
What, Tim versus Dave?
Oh, look,
it's a pointless friendly. It's a pointless friendly.
Pointless friendly. It's not a real game.
Pointless friendly, and there's only going to be one result anyway. Even if I didn't want to see West Ham lose, they were going to lose anyway.
Yeah, I don't want to see them lose. Never want to see West Ham lose, but it is a friendly, and I don't really care.
There is. I'll be lying if I said that if they played us off the park and we looked fucking shit. And you had the team that Tim built with the manager that Tim put in place. I don't think that would be a bad thing for West Ham and David Sullivan. No. I think he'd be looking at it again. Two up. I think he would. He would be. He'd be going.
Girlfriend's going to get to see it too when he gets home.
Are you suggesting we're all going to get on Amazon tonight and try and get Leverkusen scarves delivered?
100%. I'm a Jerry
I'll
at the
get my half
weekend.
and half scarf.
I'm a Jerry at the weekend. Yeah.
Oh, Chris is getting half and half scarf. He's fucking ruined it, isn't he? Jesus Christ, Chris.
With Alonso Moyles on it.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Yeah.
Apparently, it's live on TV. If you've got a dodgy Fire Stick, we don't condone dodgy Fire Sticks on this channel. You know, we only watch legitimate streams.
Just Nick and Gary condone dodgy
haircuts. Yeah. So look, I appreciate that this phone-in was scheduled, off the back of a really, really shit week, and I wasn't expecting it to become a positive show, but this has become a very fucking positive show all of a sudden.
We're positively hoping West Ham lose tomorrow, basically.
I'm talking now. Fuck that. Fuck that. Look, listen, we've got Alvarez, right? We've got Alvarez. I broke that, by the way, before everyone else did. I knew that before Romano.
You're an ITK.
I am.
You're not an ITK. You're an ITK now. You're an ITK's puppet. An ITK's got his hands up your ass, telling you what to say.
Yes. So, look, like I say, Alvarez. Imagine that midfield of Alvarez, Fofana that we saw the other day, two beasts, and Paqueta, who is no shrinking violet, is he? He's a fucking.
But how do you know he's not going to play Souček instead of Paqueta?
If he does that, then I'm not being funny. I'll find him, throw him in the boot of my car, take him to
Chris. This was fucking positive till you said that, Chris. For fuck's sake, Chris. Why's Chris ruined it by saying things like that?
Yeah.
But
we did say though. We
did
say last week, didn't we? Oh, sorry, John. We said last week that we really wanted to be positive when people were accusing us of being fucking miserable all the time. We said, give us something to be happy about. We'd love that. And here we are.
Of course. But you can't sit on the fence. You can't get splinters up your arse all week, can you? You've got to make an opinion.
That's right.
Two up, two down. Look, it's true what he says here, though. Come on, lads. After the Borges deal, can we get excited until he signs? There is that. There is that.
No. No, you're 100% right. But I think there's something. Listen, I think they will have learned from the Borges deal. I think. Well, look, I know that David Moyes has sabotaged the two deals with young players. I think and obviously they're very frustrated at this. I don't think they will allow him to make the same mistake again. If anything, they'll avoid it. I think it would be very unusual to sign a player without him speaking to the manager. But if it's a case of, look, this fucker ain't going to be here too long, he's not. He's not. Maybe they've already spoke to him. Maybe they've already said to him, look, airport that way, Glasgow that way. Fuck off. We don't know. We don't know, do we? So, look,
if Moyes does go, do you think we've got a chance getting Alex Scott in from Bristol in the January transfer window?
No. Yeah, without Moyes, I do. Yeah, maybe, without Moyes, no. Without Moyes, I think we've got an opportunity to do it now. That kid didn't want to come to us because we wouldn't promise him any football at all. Yeah. And who's going to go to?
I think he'll be happy on the bench. He'll be happy on the bench without Moyes on their bench.
He would no. Look, listen, he'll be happy on the bench, but you can't get a player to sign for you if you tell him you're never going to play him.
No.
You've got to at least sell him the dream, and you, Gary, wouldn't you say?
Of course you have. And that's what I would imagine. That's what I imagine. Tim is Tim Stighton. He's obviously a big ego, a big character. He's used to winning people over and taking people with him and stuff like that. He's like, he must have a lot of motivational character. And then you got the super agent who will also be one of those, right?
Yeah.
You ain't going to have Moyes sitting there with a miserable face saying you're probably not going to get a game, son. You know what I mean? It's going to be selling the dream because that's how you get good players to sign for you.
Absolutely.
Can I read Romano's tweet out quickly?
Please do.
West Ham have now reached an agreement on personal terms with Ajax midfielder Edson Alvarez.
Yeah, that's right.
Hang on. This is personal terms.
Yeah.
Up to West Ham to discuss the deal with Ajax as negotiations will follow over the weekend. Deal depends on the clubs. Edson has said yes.
Oh, I'm getting so excited, honestly. Mrs. K can have a good night tonight.
But this is where Sullivan needs to know. This is where the
ride the Punani. I'm gonna ride it all night long.
It's an image. That is an image. I'll never get out of my head.
Oh God! It won't be all night long, by the way. 2 minutes.
I bet the front door's just closed. She's done a runner.
Yeah, she's gone out.
Oh, with me in.
She took the dog for a very long walk.
Hammers Mikey, I feel sick, Nick.
I do as well, Mike.
Yes, I do. I do feel. Yes. Fuck me, go Eurovision, son. But no, to close this call down because we've got another one that we've got to go to.
Yeah, go on.
It's a really good call, mate. How would you like to? How would you like to close the call? What point? What point would you like to make?
By saying, I haven't really. I just want Moyles out of the club as quick as possible. Some of them I can handle for another 2 seasons at least maximum. But they've just got to get rid of Moyles. He is the problem at the club. He is the virus, and he's got to go.
Well said, Chris.
Well said. Well said. Right. Okay, Chris. Thank you very much for the
boy.
call, mate.
See you later, Chris.
Okay. No worries.
Take care, mate.
Thank you very
Good
much.
luck.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah.
Can I just say?
In the time of this call, go on.
No, I'm just a bit annoyed here because Matty B is going, a bit of sick just come up them boys. Me and Gary never said anything. That was Nick.
Exactly. We're keeping it real, me and John.
Nick's like one of them geezers who rings up Babe Station. He definitely
I'm excited.
is.
I'm excited. What can I say?
Door opens and Nick takes a frying pan to the bonce. It's a fucking big frying pan. Nick looks like Benny from ABBA.
Fuck off. On the old Joanna.
That's brilliant.
Is that Big Willie?
Hello.
Oh, God.
Oh, yes, it is, boys.
How you doing, mate?
Evening,
It's been
and
a while.
Virgil.
It's been a while.
Who is it? Who is it?
This is Big Willie.
Long time no speaky.
Right, Willie.
Big Willie? Who's Big Willie?
And Virgil got his moist pajamas on.
You remember who
Doyle's
this-
back.
Well,
Yeah. Thought we got rid of him. Jesus Christ. Hello, Will.
No
How
way,
you
man.
doing?
I'm a West Ham for life.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
How you doing? You all right?
All right, mate.
Good lad.
Well, not really. What the fuck is Moist still doing there?
Have you watched the start of this show though? Have you watched it? You haven't, have you?
I was rolling the joint, mate.
That's fine. Can I update you? Can I update you on what's happened? Because I know you've written an open letter to David Moyes. Listen, I know you're stoned and you've written an open letter to David Moyes. But listen to this.
I ain't stoned yet.
Okay,
I only rolled one joint. What do you got in your vape?
We don't condone dodgy fire sticks, rolling joints.
Yeah, drink some special juice to put in it.
Yeah.
Don't condone any of that.
I've got pink guava vape juice.
No one condones wearing Moist pajamas, Virgil. Shush.
Right. Anyway, listen, Will. Let me tell you what's happening. If you ain't been listening, I will update you again.
Go on, mate.
Obviously, we was all panicking and shitting ourselves earlier on that news broke that we were linked with 2 players, 2 stiffs from Man United in Maguire and McTominay for £90 million.
Yeah. What the fuck do you want them for?
Exactly. Well, it materialises that was never the case. We did request medical records. That is something that we always do when we inquire for any players. We did inquire for them because we're basically been, pandering to Moyes.
I don't know. Moyes is a stalker, as we've seen with Lingard. I bet he's stalking Maguire right now. I bet he's in his bushes.
Listen, I'm going to tell you what's happened in the
Shut
time
up,
that you've not
Will.
watched his
Just
show.
carry on.
Listen,
Carry
right?
on
So
rolling.
it's all been doom and gloom. Right now, listen.
Have we time for fun?
Stighton went back and reported to Sullivan, who also watched that game as well with Arsenal, not at the stadium, but he saw him. Sullivan himself has basically said that he is going to take it because he's not done this yet. When apparently, whenever Sullivan decides that he's going to do it, he goes and gets his super agent. It costs a fucking fortune. We all know who he is. He got the Paqueta done deal.
Yep.
He said he's going to get him, and apparently they're going and they're getting this Fofana Fofana deal done. They're going to try and go and get him. We're up against Leverkusen and someone else, but we're confident that we can get it done. Also, I said the other person that was named was Alvarez, and just as I said that, apparently people started tweeting in the thing. Romano's just tweeted with agreed personal terms with Alvarez. So our midfield for next year could be Paqueta, Fofana, and Alvarez. Yes, right. So we got that. Also, it's been clarified that what do you call it? They can't exist together. Stighton and Moyes cannot coexist at all. Sullivan has accepted that. He has. Basically, Moyes has been acting like a petulant bitch since Stighton's come in. They basically Sullivan introduced him and said, "This is your new boss." Moyes went, "No, you fucking ain't. You handing me contracts. I ain't working for him." So that's what he's done. And ever since then, ever since then, it's been going back. Then what he did was he formed this stupid committee to try and make it work. Yeah. Nothing's worked. So it sounds like
time's up for Moyes.
Either Moyes will walk or he'll. I think if Moyes thinks he's going to get pushed, he'll walk himself. That's personally what I think. I think he will.
Good news either way, isn't it?
Yeah. So that is good. So I know you've written an open letter. Do you feel like reading that open letter now, or do you not?
No, not really. It's pointless now. But
it's been addressed, hasn't it, Will?
At least you got it.
I did get it. It was good. It was good.
Yeah,
as well.
I mean, we can discuss the points on it.
Yeah, no. Look, mate.
Some of them.
You're 100% right, and that's the thing. And I kind of look. We had calls last year.
Basically, Moyes shouldn't have been allowed any control in the transfer window because of his previous fuck ups. Vlasic, Haller, Anderson, etc., etc., etc. We've either lost players at huge amounts of money, or they haven't been used properly.
Yeah.
So that wasn't why Sidon come in the first place.
I'd say 90% of the signings have been good signings, but he's used them incorrectly
tonight. Honestly, this is brilliant.
Personally.
Yeah,
it's brilliant news. But what signings? What Moyes didn't personally go out, scout, find,
he has.
sign, and pay for anybody. No one is Moyes signing.
David Moyes' list of
Suchek
targets.
found Soufal.
David Moyes' list of targets this window were as follows: Maguire,
Grannies,
James Ward-Prowse, and Gallagher. Gallagher was one that Moyes wanted.
Do you know what?
I wouldn't have minded Gallagher. He's one I wouldn't have minded.
Do you know what that tells me? That tells me Moyes' sole purpose was to survive relegation.
Yeah.
That's why he wanted Premier League proven, experienced players.
Yeah.
And no manager that just goes out there not to lose or not to get relegated, we don't fucking want them.
I agree.
No.
Yeah.
I know, mate. No, we don't.
We don't want that trophy either. If it means Moyes can hide totally protected behind it.
Yeah,
you're not got that trophy right now. If Moyes went,
oh no, I wouldn't give up the trophy. I wouldn't do that because he's going to go anyway. Will so we've got.
It's not a real achievement. The real achievement would have been to do as well, or if not better, than the previous season in the Premier League. The Premier League is our bread and butter. We wouldn't have got into Europe in the first instance if we didn't earn it in the Premier League.
No, listen, I'm not saying. Look, somebody
with that.
Somebody put it perfectly on Twitter earlier on. Okay, and that was Conference League.
A sixth place finish would have been more of an achievement.
It would have.
Would you be taking more satisfaction?
I don't agree with that, Will. It was a one-off. I've never seen
Will, I disagree with that, mate.
Not winning the cup. I
know what you're saying. What you're saying in essence is right. For instance, next season, because we've now won a trophy. Next season, if we got 17th and just about scraped it, had another shit year, and then just won the Conference League again, I wouldn't feel as passionate about it. But that cup win was so important to us, mate. We
would have had better players as options if we had finished 6th, 7th, etc.
Well, you're not older than me. You've never seen us win a fucking trophy either.
No, I'm younger than you, but I'm 6 years younger than you.
So you've never seen us win a trophy, mate. That's what I mean. That was a big thing. That was a big thing.
I didn't join West Ham as a fan to see us win trophies or get glory. I enjoy us.
Did you join West Ham
and see the players give everything for the badge, win, lose or draw?
Well, tell me how you felt that night when we won the trophy.
Stone.
No better than I did during the cup final against Liverpool.
No, really? don't say that. Don't say that.
Yes, we won. That was a more entertaining day out for me.
Will, it was. Nah.
The best part was seeing great performances from Emerson, Owen, Benrahma. Rice was shit.
No,
the game
the best thing was winning. It was a shit game.
Can you rename him Dyson, please? Because he's a mood hoover. Will Wheeler's a fucking not Will Wheeler. Will Dole's a fucking mood hoover. So he's
hoovered up the good feeling.
Yeah.
I'm not here to entertain, man. I'm just here to tell the truth.
Right. I know.
Say it how I see it.
I know. But look, listen. I think this is from what we've had this last 4 weeks to 6 weeks. This is good. This has been probably the first good night that we've had to get excited, and I do think that things could start moving in the right direction.
I feel happier hearing that news that you just told me than I did winning the trophy. But
there you go. There you
I
go.
love a
Nick's-
happy Will. I love a happy
Nick
Will.
smiling looks unnatural. It does. It feels unnatural, John. It feels unnatural. but anyway, Will, thank you very much for the call, mate. I'm gonna move on.
No worries, guys.
To one more before we close. All right then.
See you later.
Go on, mate. Go
Cheers,
on, mate. Speak to you later. Speak to you
Bye.
later. Bye.
Well, I've just had a comment here. I'm watching in a jail in North Korea. I love it. What?
Really?
Can't be true.
Jesus Christ, Jonathan.
Jonathan, that is the biggest contribution ever on this channel.
My
That is magnificent.
It
I'll
is,
tell you what.
it is, but why not make it 50, Jonathan? That's all I'm going to say.
I'll tell you what. She's going to have to put her crash helmet on later and all. That's what she's going to have to do. It's going straight through the head bolt.
You might want to borrow a bottle of wine and put. You might want to borrow a bottle of wine out and that to get her over her memories. Jesus Christ.
Very nice of you, Jonathan.
That is amazing, Jonathan. Thank you very much. Right, read the question, John. Anyway, before we go.
Which one? What, Jonathan's?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's the least we can do.
Yeah, no, I wasn't.
Yeah.
It's possible they won't sack Moyes due to optics. Media might question firing a manager who won a trophy after 40 years, leading to criticism of Sullivan and sending the wrong message to future managers and players. By a point.
Listen, right, I want to take this one because you know, it is true. It is true that the media are largely on Moyes' side. If he goes, they will give Sullivan a massively hard time. But I don't think he should give a fuck about that, to be honest. You know, he's really backed him, and it'll pass after a couple of weeks. It'll be like yesterday's chip paper. You know what I mean?
Gary.
So, I don't think it matters. And Sullivan needs to develop a thick skin, which I'm sure he's got anyway, but just not with the media.
No, that's right. Well, hang on,
Gary.
We got Gary.
Gary from Romford.
Gary from Romford.
Hello, is that Gary from Romford?
Uh-oh.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, Gary. You're right. Did you finish your film, Gary?
Yes.
Gary was in a right fucking panic earlier on. He saw that we had the Talk Hammer show scheduled for tonight, so he texted me. He went, "Is there no show on Sunday? What's going on? Is it on Friday?" I went, "No, it's happening tonight." He went, "But I'm watching the film with my girlfriend." I said, "All right."
How was Barbie? How was Barbie, Gary?
Oh, you didn't.
I build my social life around this show. That's the trouble. I don't see it Sunday. How are you, lads? You all right?
Good.
Yes, mate.
Happy, Gary. Happy.
It's been a very funny old hectic day, really, isn't it? And it's sort of ended up as we, you know, one thing I will say, I was very happy, like you lot, but there was a very slight tinge of sadness as well, just a very slight one.
Cool.
I'll just talk just for a second with Moyes. You know, I booked the last 3 years and the cup win and the 6th and 7th place finishes. But obviously now it's a shame, really. It's a shame he didn't walk away after that final, Gal. You know what I mean?
Of course it is. Of course it is. Yeah, we all wanted that.
We could have had a new manager. We could have had 3 or 4 players in there, and we'd be set up. But it's good to see Alvarez and Fofana. These are Stidham players. You can see, you know, these are the players that he wants. And a bit, I don't know if it's true or not, because, I mean, you hear a lot of stories on YouTube. You don't know what's true and what's fiction. But on Wednesday, Fofana played against Arsenal in that friendly, and apparently, by all accounts, he was man of the match.
Yeah, he was.
And I heard today that Moyes didn't rate in that highly. Now, whether he's just doing that because it's a Stidham player.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I mean, I think Sullivan must be sit down thinking, well, hang on a minute, Fofana 30 million, you know, replacing Rice for you know, a fraction of the price. And really, I added it up the other night. The 4 players we can get in for Stidham's money, the value for money, you know, Alvarez, Fofana. You know, you look at Maguire, Autonomy, Wolves-Prowse, you can 120, 125 million. Yeah. This way, we can get 3 or 4 players in, and we still have change.
But this is how it should have been from the start, Gary. It should have, but as John said earlier on, John made the point. Although we've been making these bids, because as we know, I said earlier on, you know, I'll say it again, Steichen came in, Moyes refused to, he pulled his contract out and said, I don't have to work for a director of football. Sullivan pulled out, he created his committee. And then what they've been doing is they've been going out bidding for Moyes' targets, but we've seen the bids. They've been lowballing.
Yeah, I know.
But as John said earlier on, it looks like Steichen's been squirreling away in the background, John, doesn't it?
He must have been. He must have been.
And I mean,
he must have been. Go on, Gal.
Yeah. No, I was going to say, John, I think they've obviously thought. I suppose what happened was, you can read between the lines. I think Sullivan wanted him gone end of the season. The club wanted to go in a different direction. We all did. We've had 3 good years, you know, but we wanted to get younger, exciting players, play more expensive football. And obviously, if he'd have sacked him there and then or got rid of him, Moyes could have walked away. He should have done that, gone out on a high.
I agree.
I think he didn't.
Yeah, Gary.
He didn't, and he's been belligerent. And I am sorry, Gary. Yeah. I am sorry. I don't have any affection for David Moyes. I appreciate there are people that do, and what you're saying is right. He has done a decent job, but I do think he's a bit of a prick. I'm sorry.
Nick,
I do think he's a bit of a prick.
He is.
Nick, I'm on board with you. I wanted to change. I'm 100% wanted to change. But what I'm saying is, he has come in, you know, whether we like it or not, he has come. We've got Europe 3 years running. We can't deny the facts. That they are the facts.
No. He won't let us deny the facts. He tells us in every fucking interview.
I know.
Well,
I
thought 3 years, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm thinking of the midfield now. Last night, Paqueta, Fofana, and maybe one other, maybe a holding midfield player. Because with Fofana, I can't work out whether he's a box-to-box midfield or whether he's a holding defensive.
Box-to-box.
Yeah. So in which case then we need maybe Alvarez or Vicaria as well.
Harry, have you not heard the news, Gal, about Alvarez?
No, go on.
You've not been watching the show.
He's been watching the film. He's watching fucking Barbie, isn't he?
I just seen agreed personal terms. Is that right?
No. Yes. So basically, there's two players. So Sullivan is with his very expensive super agent that does get deals done. He's secured Paqueta, so there you go. He's going to go out there and he's going to do everything he can to get Fofana done. He wants Fofana. He's confident he can get him. He said it won't be easy because there's other clubs interested, but with the clubs that we're up, with the clubs we're up against, he thinks that we can get it done. Yeah, we'll get him in.
He wants to play in the Premier League, apparently.
And the
Brighton coming with it tonight.
Yes, and the other one that I was told at the same time was Alvarez, and I was told that Alvarez was quite close, but I hadn't seen anything reported on that, so I didn't want to say it. Although I did just before Romano, to be quite honest, just before.
There's one more bit of news, right, from today, and that is that Atalanta have improved on Inter's offer for Scamacca. They're offering 30 million euros apparently.
He's going. Scamacca's going.
No. What I'm saying is, just let me finish a minute, right? We're going to get about 8 mil for Vlasic, about 30 mil for Scamacca, about 3 mil for Cresswell, about 6 mil for Antonio. That's another 47 million, right? So we will have more money as well.
But we still need a striker then.
Well, apparently, I don't know. I've never seen this player play. We was linked with him before. We almost got him. Ekitike of PSG. We could get him on loan with an option to buy.
I've heard of him. Yeah, we were linked with him loads of times.
Yeah, but apparently last year, didn't we?
Yeah, but apparently, and we've done stuff with PSG. We got Areola from PSG.
Right.
So there's a chance we could get him on loan with an option to buy. So
do you not think that? Go on, Gal. Go on, mate.
No, go on, carry on.
Go on, because you've been watching Barbie all night. I'll let you.
Oh, someone go for fuck's sake.
I was going to say is if we get the two midfield players in, obviously if Scamacca's going, we need a striker definitely, and obviously you've got the left side. We could have had Borges. It wasn't like ballsed up. That annoyed me. That did because I was really excited about him. But we obviously need a couple more players in. I mean, what do you reckon? Would you be happy with 4 players coming in?
Definitely, 100%.
Well, according to that article that was released in The Athletic, where we went on the transfer room, we were looking for 7 players.
7
players.
Oh.
Yeah.
According to that article in The Athletic. Yeah.
Centre back, left back, yeah. This is the thing, Nick. This is the thing. With Stuyden's players, he's getting them so much cheaper. The Moyes targets, whether you like to or not, he's playing that British tax.
But this is why he was brought in. This is why he was brought in.
I know.
You know, and apparently Moyes has been approaching this guy with the same arrogance, and that's why, Gary, you nailed it perfectly earlier on. He's never had this obsession with Premier League proven before. And now this guy's coming. It's all about Premier League proven. You don't know the Premier League. You don't know how difficult it is.
It's because it was Moyes last season, Nick. He wanted to go. He didn't want to struggle like last season. I can see from that point of view. But he's not thinking about the club, is he? He's thinking about himself.
He's just thinking about himself. But basically, he wants to take full credit himself for everything. Now, I don't think he'll get anything if somebody else brings a player in and gives it to him. If they do well, he doesn't take anything from that because it's all about him. Me, fucking me with David.
Yeah.
He's not a team player. Don't like him.
Like you.
Yeah. I mean, Sullivan really should have seen it. I mean, as soon as he got appointed, I could see this come. I knew it was going to happen. You just knew it. It's just
but a little bit of me. But a little bit of me thinks Sullivan is well aware that something like this would happen. I don't think he's as stupid as you think he is. I think he's well aware that Moyes wouldn't have enjoyed working with his geezer.
Yeah, he's not stupid, but he's completely disorganized, and he plays a lot. He just does a lot by ear. He flies by. You know what I mean? He's ad hoc. He makes it up as he goes along.
Yeah, true.
And like I said to you last week, it's all momentum. This is now. We get the players in. If we get a new manager in, and that's a big question now, isn't it? Who would have been manager be? Would it be a starting appointment? Would it be Alonso?
Well, it would have to be a Stighton appointment because that's he's got to come in and work with Stighton. That's part of Stighton's job to choose the manager and hire him. So
but is Alonso available now?
Potter, get Potter.
Potter's free, isn't it? Yeah.
Sorry, Gary, 1 minute. Sorry, 1 moment. West Ham fan channel, the Free Hammers, Luke, a channel that I'll watch. Really, really nice guy. He's just said there. Look, we've been trying to get him on the show, but the trouble is he works in the school. He's a Pete, so he can't do the same times as us. So
you're on 6 weeks holidays, the lazy bastard.
I know. He looks after his kids though. So you got.
I'm sorry.
He said he's introducing your channel to the lads down the Working Man's Club in Benfleet. Hopefully, some more subscribers for you. Thank you very much. And in return, make sure everyone go over and check Luke's Free Hammers out as well.
Yeah, but Luke, just to interject, Luke, make sure you tell them Nick's never usually this happy. Just make sure
I'm always this happy.
Aware.
I am. Honestly, I'm never going to stop. I will. But if Moyes does go, I'm gonna have a fixed grin for at least 6 weeks. I reckon it's going to be difficult.
Yeah. Well,
going to be using muscles I ain't used before in my face.
Yeah, the thing is, I mean, obviously, is Alonso is Alonso available, Gal?
He will be if we pay. It will be, but we'd have to buy him out because he's just signed a long contract with Leverkusen. But there's it's like Epic says. Well, I prefer. Look, honestly, Gary, if you ask me honestly, I'd pretty much take anyone other than Moyes. But I'd settle for Potter definitely. I think he'd be fine. But then you've got Nagelsmann, as Epic mentioned. Again, I rely on you two to know stuff like this. Who's that?
Look, Nagelsmann's a top manager, but for me, I would be. Look, we're talking about Alonso. We're only talking about Alonso because this guy Tim plucked him from nowhere. I know he's a household name, but not as a manager. He was, as John reported on his show, he was coaching in Real Sociedad B or something. So he's plucked him from nowhere. I'm quite confident to give him. He'll be out to spot someone. He will. Yeah. So I don't really care who comes in next, as long as he picks him, because we know that Tim Stighton's teams are associated with the type of football that we want to watch.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, when you think about it, the other night, Declan Rice was playing in that game, and apparently I didn't see the game, but I heard a lot about it. And apparently, Fofana actually run the show.
He ran him ragged, mate. Honestly, if you think of Declan Rice, look, listen, Declan Rice is a great player, but if you talk about presence in midfield, this guy's bigger, he's stronger, he's faster. He can do a bit of everything as well. So this guy started as a centre back. He can do a bit of everything. He's got great defensive attributes. He was a CDM, but he's progressed to kind of a natural number 8. So he can do everything. His passing was on point in that game as well, and he's a goal scorer. Yeah. He's a goal scorer as well.
I'll tell what else, Nick. If we do get, say Potter comes in, out of argument's sake, I think this could be like, once Moyes is gone, I think you can maybe take Souček out of the equation. I think you could look in at Paqueta.
That's the problem, isn't it?
And Alvarez, that could be your midfield. Yeah. And then you could maybe pull Souček on, and you've got another 15, 20 million in the kitty. So this whole thing is going to snowball. It's good, because once the players start coming in, you get a feel-good feel around the place. Yeah. It's going to be good. But I just, like I say, I'm just pleased now. We just got it sorted, but it could have been avoided all this. It's the only thing that annoys me. But there you go.
Yeah, no, it could have been. But look, do you know what? All's well that ends well. If it goes the way that it's looking like it could go, this could all be a very distant memory. And
I'll forgive all this. I'll forgive it all. I'll forgive it all.
If all we've got to do is put up with a month while new players come in and a new manager beds in, we've still got our trophy in the cabinet, and we've got lovely new football to look forward to.
Yeah, in terms of the striker, I mean, I've been saying for months on here, and I know everyone's got their own opinions. I think I like to see us try to get Brozier if he's fit, because I think Brozier would fit. Although saying that now, we're talking about Moyes is starting to play with. Maybe a new manager come in, maybe a different forward might be an answer now. Who would you like to see as a striker coming in? Anyone you fancy?
Jonathan David.
Oh yeah.
I don't want him.
Why don't you want him?
He's got 2 Christian names. It's fucking ridiculous.
Someone's
called Jonathan David.
They named him twice, John.
No, I'm joking.
Do you think there's any chance the Macca might stay if another manager comes in? Do you think that might? Could that be a
I don't think
possibility?
it's going to happen soon enough. I don't think it's going to happen soon enough.
No, I don't think so.
Feels nearly done. I think he's out. He's on his way. He's on his way.
Gary, I'm going to have to cut you short on this one. Reason being, I've made a promise to something. We're already running into his show. I've got to get Nolly on before we close. I should have closed 19 minutes ago.
All right, mate.
All right, so we get you on the next one, mate.
Thank you, Gary. See you later,
mate. Bye.
Right, let's get Nolly on.
We didn't get his take on Barbie Girl, did we? We didn't see what.
No, we didn't.
Nolly, no C-bombs. Nolly, no C-bombs. Nolly, no C-bombs. Nolly, no C-bombs. Nolly, no C-bombs.
Oh, he's on bed.
Is he there? Hello, Nolly. You all right?
You can hear me.
Mate, I was just having a piss.
You're having a piss? Oh, that's good.
I was. I had to rush out there.
Oh, sorry. You pissed all down your leg, didn't you?
Hope you washed your hands.
Mate, can you turn your TV down? Turn your TV down for us again, please, mate.
Every time he has
his
amateur hours back.
So Nolly, I can see you've been watching the show. Have you started to feel a little bit better about things now?
Right, couple of things.
Come on.
First thing, right, Moyes, couldn't organise a fuck up in a brothel, and that's the end of it. I ain't saying no more about that.
Yeah,
the geezers are,
good point. Well made.
We know.
I've heard he's getting a tin tack.
Yes,
that's what
it looks like it.
Yeah, so I'm happy with that.
Yeah,
I absolutely.
Nolly, can I ask you quickly? Will you feel a little bit sad for David Moyes when he does actually?
He's going to be gutted. No, he'll be gutted.
When he does actually go.
I'll fucking drive him. Nick. I'll drive him back fucking wherever he wants to go.
Yeah.
No drama. I won't even put in the petrol money for it. But like, a couple of things, like McTominay, the other fella, and Ward-Prowse. That's not the future for us.
Yeah.
That is Maguire. That ain't the future for us. I mean, I've heard, because I've just been listening to you guys, Fofana and Alvarez.
Yes.
That's fantastic.
That'd be amazing, mate.
Amazing.
But if it happens, I mean, I would have liked Onana, Amrabat, or Tar.
Oh yeah, but any of them would have been good. Fuck me. Yeah. They would have been good. Anyone other than the ones that would have been linked with James Ward-Prowse, McTominay, and I would have had Gallagher. I'd have been happy with him.
I would have had McTominay as well. But these are definitely an upgrade if we get these. Obviously,
not McTominay.
Yeah,
not McTominay. No.
I don't care what you think, Molly. I've got an opinion, son. Come on, giving your opinion.
To be honest with you, John. John, to be honest with you,
stand your leg. You've got the right.
Listen, mate. You made. I'll give you this, right. You made a cracking point earlier on, right? About Soucek.
I'm allowed to talk. What did he say?
No, he did. He made a good point about Soucek. If you take him out of the equation, then all of a sudden it all opens up.
Yeah, of course it does.
So you know, but and if Moyes goes, then that's a different kettle of fish. So you know, it's a really good point you made there, John.
Thanks,
so
thanks,
well
Nolly. I love you, mate. Cheers, Nolly. Thanks, bro. Glad someone listens.
But I'm still worried, right, about Areola, because I think if he keeps playing Fabs, Areola's going to fuck off, and then we've got to go and get another goalkeeper when we've got a perfectly good number one there already. He won't change that. He's going to lose Jan-Luc.
But if he goes, Nolly, if Moyes goes, I don't think that I don't think that the next manager is going to do that. I mean, and look, this is no slight on Fabs. Fabs is a good keeper, but he's a great keeper. He's 39 now. You know, we've got him. I'm not being funny. After the success in Europe last year, he probably had a little bit of envy because he had all the shit in the Premier League. So why not just make him? Why not just make him the European keeper next year? You know,
exactly.
Just change it round.
Exactly. That's exactly what I would keep him as number two. Absolutely.
Yeah.
The only thing I'd say about Areola, right? I mean, he ain't been great in pre-season. I mean,
He's looked crestfallen, mate. He's looked crestfallen. He looks like he can't be bothered. But we know he's a good keeper, though. We know he is.
Yeah, I know, but he ain't
game time, John. Give him game time.
Yeah,
the new manager can bring the best out in players.
He'll be mastered.
Yeah.
And this is what is going to piss me off, right? We bring in another manager like Potter or Xavi Alonso, right?
Yeah.
We are losing a fucking top quality striker in Scamacca. And if they'd have been in earlier, we wouldn't have lost him.
Yeah.
No.
Agree with you.
We wouldn't have lost money on him either.
No.
Well, that's what I was just saying to the other caller, Gary, because Gary said, do you think there's any chance that these new players coming in could persuade Scamacca or a new manager? I think it's too late. This is the point.
It's too late. Absolutely, mate.
If Moyes would have gone after winning the trophy and Sullivan and him would have got agreement and got a manager in place, you might have been able to persuade Scamacca because he can see the light at the end of the tunnel because Moyes is no longer going to be.
I agree.
That's the problem.
100%, I agree.
No, absolutely.
Yeah. Fucking hell, John, you're on a roll. You're doing well tonight. All the stuff you're saying, spot
Time
on.
off, mate. Time off.
But,
It's been revising. It's been revising.
But mate, honestly, this is because obviously I scheduled this show off the back of a few people. I think you text me as well. So people wanted to blow off steam. So I've scheduled this tonight for that very reason. But I've probably taken the wind out of a lot of people's sails because it's
well, you have, but in a good way.
In a good way. You know,
Fabrizio.
Hang
on,
update.
Hang on, update. Go on, John.
Breaking news.
Fabrizio Romano, Atalanta are close to completing the hijack of Scamacca deal.
Yeah,
I want it done. I want it done now. If he's going to go, let him go. It's a shame. It's a shame, but
West Ham are prepared to accept 25 million plus 5 million add-ons.
A sad thing is for that, and I think that is the same for a lot of people. Unfortunately, when the damage is done, it's done. I think the damage for Scamacca and West Ham is done. I think he wants to go now. I don't think a change of manager is going to help that now. So I think with some players, you know, maybe for some reason he didn't get his move and he had to stay, and a new manager came in, we could win him over.
I still think as much as we can blame Moyes for that situation, and we can to some extent, I still think that Scamacca had a lot of injuries. He had a lot of problems, and I think, if I'm honest, as much as Moyes, he can blame Moyes all he wants, a little bit of me thinks that Scamacca's a bit weak, just giving up already. That's what I'd say about that. If I'm honest with you, sorry. Not be popular.
I know what you're saying, John, right? But the thing is this, right? You only see him 90 minutes on a Saturday. Well, we haven't seen that, right? Yeah. But he lives 24/7 in London. Yeah. And, you know, if he ain't got the support and he don't feel loved, that's right. He's going to think, this, I want to go back.
No. I get that. And that's probably what Moyes is to blame. But Moyes is not a good manager. And someone like Scamacca probably needs an arm around his shoulder a bit more. Do you know what I mean?
I think he was.
If Harry had been his manager,
different story.
It'd have been a kettle of
different story
together.
Different story. If we'd have built our team around Scamacca, because look, I'm not being funny. I think we've seen it over the years with foreign players that have come in. You know, they fall in love with us, and we become their team. You've only got to look at guys, even fucking Schemmel.
Pablo, look at Pablo.
Pablo, players like that. Now, I'm not being funny. When you get that connection with the fans, which I don't think Scamacca's quite been able to get yet, if he was to get that and experience that, then he would feel home. He would do.
Yeah.
I agree.
Ultimately, I blame Moyes 100%. And when we gave Ogbonna that another year contract, I genuinely, in my head, I said it on one of the shows, I said I wouldn't be surprised if he's been signed up to be Scamacca's like buddy almost, and be that, you know, Italian sell the club to him even more. But obviously, it ain't materialised. So.
I agree with Cape Fiegel. I don't agree with you, John. I agree with that. I don't know what he does.
I mean, what name's that? Is that his name? Cape Fiegel? What is he, a mountain? What is he, a mountain?
He's the guy that lives in the US, Ben, and he said after he heard Nigel's story about canoeing in Scotland.
I'll watch that, man.
Yeah, canoeing for all the locks. He said he lives in the US. He said there's a longer stretch that we can do in America. He said we can do a sponsored one out there. I said, well, we'll send John for that one because you got crocodiles.
If he's paying, I'll go to. If he's paying, I'll go out there. Yeah.
You never make the flight. You don't like flying.
Fuck that. Yeah.
Well, I do. It's a
shame Nige didn't take fucking Moyes back there as well, wasn't it? But there you go.
Yeah, drop him in Loch Ness. Drop him in the middle of Loch Ness.
So really and truly, lads, I mean, I was fucking hell. We need to sign some players.
We do. We're going to, mate. I think we're going to now. I think we will. Look, like I say, we've seen it before. We've been there with Borges. It fell through. Even though what Romano's saying, he said the same about Borges. He's saying that about Alvarez. It could collapse. We don't know. You can't. But this is positive today. I think it's a step in the right direction, at least. You know, it feels like it is.
I mean, Southampton kicked off in the Championship tonight, didn't they? Let's hope they ain't fucking us next year.
Yeah, well, it could so mate. It could so it could so no, but look, it could so easy be if you talk about going into a season where you've got a load of players that are kind of not signing their contracts, which we've got at the moment. They're unhappy, and you go into it. It doesn't matter the talent you've got in your squad. This is basically Leicester last year. They had loads of players approaching the end of their deals. There's no coincidence that they struggled the way that they did. You know, they was too good to go down. On paper, Leicester were too good to go down.
Yeah, agreed.
Agreed.
You know?
But I think they're gonna struggle to come up because you know what the Championship's like. It's a fucking meat market. So you know, like everyone gives like 100%.
Yes.
So we'll see.
No, he is right.
And then we've got Gerrard, like Bowen. You know, he ain't signed a new fucking contract.
He will now.
What's that about?
He will now.
Well,
Tim's
I'm
in his
hoping
ear.
so, John.
Tim's in his ear.
Yeah, I'm hoping so. I'm hoping so. Who was that striker you said? Jonathan what?
Jonathan David. He's a player that we've been linked with for a while, mate.
He
He plays for Lille. I think he plays for
France.
Lille.
In France,
He plays in France. He's rapid. He's you might have seen him in the World Cup. He plays for Canada up front. He's rapid, really good player. Fucking good.
Mate, I wouldn't have watched Canada unless we were playing them. Who would? But
Canadians.
They weren't bad. They weren't bad.
He's good.
They weren't bad. But yeah, hopefully, mate. But anyway, look, Nolly. I'll tell you. I'll give you one C bomb. Do you want to kiss David Moyes goodbye?
Look, I've told you before, right? Because I did John on this, right? And I feel sorry. Was it John I did, or was it you, Nick? When I said I'm not going to say.
Yes,
he's CUNT, but I can think it, can't I?
Yeah.
No one can stop me from thinking. And I think he's a cat.
Good man.
I love that.
Why'd you let him do it to you, Nolly? Grab a set of balls, man. Don't let him do it to you, Nolly.
No, people tune in for the C bomb.
Yeah.
But he is a cunt. Come on, he's a cunt.
That's free. No more. That's enough. That's free.
Listen, I've had a couple of mother-in-laws, and they like cunts as well.
You mean you've had them? You've had them?
No, not like that, mate. It weren't one of them golf shots.
I must admit, Nolly, you say it properly. You say it properly.
Yeah,
it's said
with feeling. With
feeling. Yeah.
Don't worry, boys. I will send the appropriate remuneration to you,
mate. No, you don't need to, mate. You don't know. No, Jonathan, mate. You don't need to. Honestly, it's fine.
We get demonetised every week anyway because we're always fucking blinded, right?
Yeah, I think Nick normally does that.
Yeah, it's normally me. Normally me.
But listen, thanks, lads. Thanks for having me.
Cheers, Nolly.
As always, mate, it's my favourite fucking show. I've learned something tonight from you guys as well.
Well, there you go.
So all good stuff. And come on, you irons.
Come on, you irons. Cheers, Nolly.
Cheers, Nick. Ta-ra, lads.
See you later.
See you, Nolly.
Happy Nolly.
Happy Nolly.
Well,
happy Nolly.
Yeah. Till you made him say the C-bomb 3 times.
Steve Tiny tried to call.
He delivers that well.
I'm sorry, mate. I have got to close this. I've run half an hour over. I'm eating into Russ's show. Russ is over on the West Ham Network at the moment. He's filling in for Tommy. And they've got some bits and pieces that they want to talk about now. So please, when you finished here, please head over to West Ham Network as well, because they're going to be running for probably for a couple of hours. So so yes, Gary, do you want to close it down? It's been a good show. It's been a very good show.
It's been a really good show. I've enjoyed it. So upbeat, it's lovely, right? Got a good feeling, happy, warm in the glow. Sunday night, join us for the Nigel Khan West Ham tour, where you can see me 2 stone heavier with tits, right? It's going to be good.
I've been on about that the whole time.
Yeah, I know. So it's going to be.
You're dreading it, Gary, aren't you?
Set myself up. So a bit about, it's going to be good. It's going to be fun. It's an interesting, if a little bit heartbreaking tour around the old Upton Park and all the other places.
No. We don't get as far as Upton Park on this one, Gary.
Oh, don't we?
No, the first.
Right, scrap that.
This is the first one. No, this is the early one.
Right.
But
Oh,
yes.
okay. Well, then that's all good stuff. It's the Upton Park bit that I found a bit upsetting, you know. Yeah. But anyway,
it was the week after.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're going to keep you up to date as things evolve because clearly we're going to have some news this week, and as soon as it arrives, or we hear something, we'll let you know. All right.
Don't worry, I'm still as good looking in that video as I am now. Just so you
Every
know,
bit, John. Every bit.
He is.
Yeah.
Even though he's got really small sunglasses on.
Thanks everyone in the chat.
I had the wrong ones. The wrong ones.
Brilliant. Right. Anyway.
What are they?
No. Right. Anyway, we'll let you all go. I'm going to play us out to a bit of Massive because I think we are again.
We are. We nearly are.
Thank you very much, Jonathan Boyce. Thank you for that very, very kind donation as well.
Thanks,
cheers, mate.
Make it 50 next time, Jonathan. Cheers, mate.
Don't you listen to him.
Wicked. Jungle is massive. Wicked. Wicked. Jungle is massive. Wicked. Yo.